The COVID 19 pandemic took a toll even on the academic aspect of our lives, where school administrators, professors, and students had to make the big leap to e learning. Know the story behind Cerebro and how they help support our nation's schools and universities adapt to this great shift, and how they plan to sustain the change despite the challenges in the current and future situations in the Philippine educational system. Let's find out in this talk entitled Cerebro, Aiding the Philippine Educational System's Big Leap in E-Learning by Mr. Justin Itugot.
Hello, everyone. I'm Justin and I'm the CEO of Cerebro. I am very honored to be here with all of you today as we stage the Philippine Startup Week, showcasing the most innovative ideas that we Filipinos have to make the Philippines and the world a better place to live in. I would like to thank the University of Santo Tomas, particularly the DOST Tomasino Center, for entrusting me this session on aiding the Philippine educational system's big leap in e-learning. So my sharing for today will focus on the idea behind Cerebro and how we were able to accelerate things and immediately gain traction during the pandemic while helping schools shift to digital with the least training and preparation possible. As I have previously mentioned, my name is Justin, a graduate of the UST College of Education, and I have been in the education industry for over 10 years already, both as a classroom teacher and as a school administrator in the basic education and the university levels. And I was able to teach in various settings, both with and without the assistance of technology. And just to give you a background of who we are and what we do at Cerebro, we are a group of teachers who aim to innovate teaching by allowing our fellow educators, both young and seniors alike, to jumpstart e learning amidst the pandemic and make teaching in the new normal an enjoyable passion and not just a stressful job that could give them thoughts about leaving their careers. Just to give you some sort of a user story on why we are doing this is teacher Anna, a grade school faculty member in a medium-sized private school handling 8 online classes with 50 students each. However, these classes are not of the same subject since teachers in the elementary level are usually expected to teach in several learning areas which could also be different from the teacher's field of specialization. I can vividly remember my first year of teaching, wherein I specialized in religious and values education. But my principal asked me to teach subjects such as technology and livelihood education, cookery, journalism, and other subjects that are beyond my field of specialization. And because of this, just like what I experienced, teacher Anna would need to do an extensive research about the subjects assigned to her so she could prepare her instructional materials well, while also allocating time for her other administrative duties such as computing grades, preparing reports, and the like. And based on data from the Department of Education, a teacher spends at least 2 hours per day for these tasks, which sums up to around 400 hours of preparation time for the entire school year. And this number has just doubled during the COVID 19 pandemic, since teachers were required to produce a year's worth of digital material so that their schools can get certified for online learning. If you are a private school teacher or a private school administrator, you are familiar with what I'm saying, and this is in line with DepEd Order number 13 series of 2020 issued in June of last year. And if we think that studying online is too hard or complex, we could only imagine how stressful it is to be a teacher. And what else could we feel if we realize that this problem also becomes a pain point for school administrators after seeing a great number of private school teachers who resigned from their jobs just last year? And with this, schools are losing billions collectively just to train new hires. So they also cannot ensure if these teachers could withstand the pressure even for just a semester. The Philippine Institute for Development Studies also notes that such heavy workload of teachers has a significant effect on the quality of education, leading us to rank 79th out of the 79 countries who took the program for international student assessment in the year 2018. And just a few months ago, we heard the World Bank Education Report stating that at least 80% of Filipino students fall below the required proficiency levels for their age. And this is very alarming. Then we came to realize that if there is only one set of K to 12 curriculum followed throughout the country, then why can't we have a single set of ready-made contents directly based from DepEd's standards and curriculum, all in a managed cloud platform that teachers coming from different schools can easily access to effectively reduce their workload and save time for their personal and social well-being? The idea is not actually new to our team, since as early as 2014, we have started running our own tutorial center along with a group of our teacher friends. And we saw how teachers, including ourselves, are spending so much time in preparing instructional materials for each of the subjects we are handling. And this consumes hours of preparation time, which teachers could just have reallocated for their families and for themselves. And since then, we tried consolidating our materials and we have placed them in a common repository, which in 2019 we realized that we could actually commercialize this practice and share these carefully designed resources to other teachers in the Philippines. And just as we were piloting its implementation in the university where we were connected at that time, the Taal volcano eruption happened in January 2020, forcing schools within Metro Manila and Southern Luzon to close down temporarily. And mind you, January is exam season for most schools in the Philippines, since it is usually the transition between the second and third quarters of the academic year. Excuse me. And barely 2 months later, schools would close again indefinitely because of the COVID-19 pandemic, which we are still experiencing until now. 20 months after the initial lockdowns, we are still here. We are still using alternative modes of teaching. And fortunately, we were able to be accepted in the Idea Space Acceleration Program's first ever fully virtual cohort last year, where we entered into a 6 week pre acceleration phase and further proceeded to the 4 month acceleration proper, and finally to the demo day, where we were able to achieve milestones in terms of our product, market, technology, and people. And we were able to share our solution to more schools within our target area with the assistance and the grants that we have received from Idea Space. Basically, our solution comes with ready-made course presentations, auto-graded quizzes, and printable worksheets that teachers can just pull out from our platform to jumpstart their online teaching, and even interactive simulations that provide realistic virtual laboratory experiments that will keep students engaged with learning the fun way. In addition, school administrators can also monitor what's happening in their learning management system and determine the system's usage data and the end user's performance. We are actually leveraging on the teaching materials carefully designed and created by our own pool of instructional designers who are all licensed professional teachers. And we are delivering this to our users using open source technology that we have specifically modified to suit the Philippine educational system. You might be thinking that there are already other market players out there and that we might be a relatively new name when it comes to e-learning. But our initial set of clients were willing to switch to our solution and even gave us positive feedback that helped us gain early stage traction against the other widely used brands. In the first 20 months of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have continuously strived to develop our competitive edge, and we would like to further expand our reach so more schools will learn about our advantage in terms of curriculum alignment, ease of registration, and value for money. There are over 1.2 million teachers in the Philippines who could benefit from our solution. And among this number, 300,000 are from the private school sector who do not enjoy access to the government's learning resource system. 11,000 teachers are in the province of Cavite, where we have already tested our product, since 76% of the schools here are privately owned. And sadly, there are about 865 private schools who had no choice but to close down during the pandemic just because they were not able to prepare digital materials and meet DepEd's minimum requirements for online learning. And this led to over 4,000 teachers losing their jobs and nearly 60,000 students who were either forced to transfer to other schools or to temporarily stop their education. At present, 13 schools with a combined total of about 8,000 users have subscribed to Cerebro at an institutional level, where 7 schools are from Cavite and 6 are from other provinces who serve as our test markets for their respective areas in Metro Manila and Central Visayas. And this year, we are expecting a 2 times increase in the number of institutional clients that we have after we receive very positive feedback from our early stage adopters. A good 75% of our team is composed of licensed professional teachers. So our solution is something that is crafted by teachers for our fellow teachers. And we don't think that the other learning management system providers have the same experience from the field that we have, since we ourselves felt how it really is to be a teacher from the ground. For a start, individual teachers who are engaged in lesson planning may directly register on our website and start accessing our materials there for free, while educational administrators may also opt to avail a paid monthly subscription at an institutional level so they can ensure a standardized quality of learning for their whole school. As for the price, our premium plans are actually 3 times lower than that of traditional textbooks. So overall, Cerebro is a cost-effective solution for jump-starting online learning. At this point, let me proceed with a demonstration of Cerebro so I can show you how schools are using our product or our solution to quickly shift to online mode as urgently as possible. So what you are seeing right now is the sample login page of Cerebro, of our managed learning management system. And as you can see, this one is for San Sebastian College, Recoletos. Right now, we have 3 campuses of San Sebastian College, Recoletos, who are using Cerebro for their school's online learning modality since school year 2020 up to the current school year. So they have been with us for the past 2 school years already. And as you may see, there is no button here to create an account because the system is secured and that it is our team who will be pre-creating the number of accounts that were subscribed to us by the school. So subscription is on a per user or on a per student per month basis, and only the students will be the paying users, and the accounts of the teachers and of the school administrators and even of the parents are all free of charge. So we have different subscription tiers depending on the size of the school, depending on their population and the number of students that they have. And of course, schools will be able to find the best plan that will suit their needs. Now, this is for the paid subscription. But if you are on our free plan, you will just basically go to our website and go to the button there that says start with a free account. And basically, you will be able to create your own account and access our materials there for free. And this is best for teachers who are looking to utilizing our materials for lesson planning purposes or even for screen sharing. There are times that teachers would just need some of our materials and access it on our website, and they might want to share it to their students through their usual video conferencing platforms for their live online classes. So that's one good application of our free plan. But the limitations of our free plan is that they won't be able to add their own materials and they won't be able to invite students in their e-learning courses in the free plan, but students can create their own accounts separately, but we cannot link it to the teacher's account. So that's one of the limitations of the free plan. Now, for the premium subscription, schools will have their own installation of the learning management system that our team will be managing for them, including all the technical support, assistance in deployment of accounts and other forms of content. And it is more personalized, as you can see on the screen, that the logo of the school is there beside the logo of Cerebro. Once they are able to log in already using the pre-created accounts, they will have the option naman to modify their accounts in order to give it their own identity. So usually students will have to change uh, their their photos, their names, their usernames and passwords, their email addresses, so that their teachers and their classmates can easily identify them in the system. Now, the schools can also appoint their designated LMS coordinator so that the coordinators will be the one to do these customizations for the students. So students won't find it a hassle to use our platform. So uh, here you can see that we have an enrollment code box. So there are two options for adding students in the different classes. So first, students can manually enroll themselves using an enrollment code given to them by their teachers. Or second, the teachers can pre-enroll the students in their classes. Uh, Here, you will also see some quick access icons where students can access their profile to edit it, access their list of classes where they are currently enrolled in, see the calendar for upcoming deadlines, manually search for their classes, and if the user is someone who has administrative access to the system, for example, the principal or an academic coordinator or a school administrator, they will see this button that says create a course. So if you are a regular student or a regular teacher, this button here is not available to you. Now, part of our paid subscription package is that we conduct trainings and orientation sessions for students, for teachers, and even for parents. But of course, we conduct it at the beginning of the school year and somewhere in the middle of the year to serve as some sort of a refresher training or refresher orientation. But there are times that students or even teachers might forget something, no, might forget how to do something on the Cerebro platform. For this reason, we have our help desk, and we also have our knowledge base where we have ready-made articles and instructional videos that will allow our users to be refreshed on how to do certain tasks on our learning management system. So usually students will just have to click this getting started icon on our dashboard, and they will see here some articles with ready-made instructions or videos about how they can log in for the first time, personalize their account, join a class using an enrollment code, access class materials, answer a quiz, submit an assignment, access the gradebook, see class announcements, or use video conferencing features. Now, if you click on any of this, for example, you would like to see how to submit an assignment, then this page will appear wherein there is an instructional video already on how to submit an assignment. Now, if you are a teacher and you would like to know how to create a quiz, so you'll just type some keywords here. For example, you just type quiz, and you can uh, see some articles here that lists down the steps on how to create an automatically graded quiz, all with the screenshots and the step-by-step instructions on how to do it in the learning management system. So again, no, we are leveraging on open source technology that we have modified to suit the Philippine educational system. And on top of it, we have our ready-made contents already. So teachers will be able to save up to 400 hours of preparation time per year, and they can jumpstart online teaching with the least preparation possible. So if you remember, di ba, when we were still studying before, especially in our basic education years, we have some teachers who are already seasoned teachers, who are already senior in age. And most of the time, these seasoned teachers who are already senior in age uh, don't have enough experience or knowledge in terms of integrating technology in their teaching. So with Cerebro, we will be able to assist them to shift to online learning with the least preparation possible, because most of the time these teachers would have their materials in physical copies pa, and they have their manila papers, their cartulinas. They are so used to using blackboards or whiteboards for discussing to their students. And with the use of Cerebro, we have our ready-made contents already. So teachers, even if they still do not have digital materials for their classes, can immediately start teaching online because we already have our own instructional materials in the platform. So this is one example of a course where we have the ready-made contents already. So basically, we already have the ready-made contents for the subjects that are common among all schools in the Philippines for the K to 12 levels. So usually what we do not have are just those subjects that differ from school to school. For example, we do not have the content for PE because there are different approaches on how schools will be teaching physical education online. There are some schools who would just focus on the theoretical aspect of physical education. Some would ask the students to create exercise videos and the like. So basically, there are different approaches to teaching physical education. Another thing is for values education. Schools would have different approaches to teaching values education, primarily because they also have different religious affiliations. And for TLE, for example, the TLE or the Technology and Livelihood Education curriculum of the school would depend on the situation of the school and the location. For example, if the school is located in an agricultural area, then most probably their approach to teaching TLE will be more on agricultural too. Now, for those in the cities or in the urban areas, their TLE might be focused on office administration, teaching computer lessons, and even for computer, di ba? There can be different approaches to teaching this. Those who are in the rural areas might be starting with parts of the computer pa, but those in the urban areas might be teaching their students programming as early as elementary already. So for those subjects that differ from school to school, we do not have those materials, but teachers can upload their own materials for this subject. So we will be creating blank course pages for you, and you will be able to upload your own materials. Now, for the rest of the general subjects, we have the materials for them, including the core and the specialized subjects for senior high school, and even the new general education curriculum courses for the college level. Okay. So here you can see an example of a course page with ready-made course presentations. So this is for senior high school. So you can see the level identifier there. It says senior high school. There is also the course title there that says Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person. And there is the course description that is directly based from DepEd's original curriculum guide. So you can see it is actually aligned with DepEd's curriculum. We have here the announcements button where the teacher can post announcements. And if the students have updated their correct email address in the system, they will be receiving an email notification about the new announcements made by the teacher. We also have our virtual classroom integration. So basically, we have our browser-based video conferencing platform already that is integrated in the platform. Uh, and this doesn't require the students to download any additional software apart from accessing our learning management system using their browsers. So most of the time, our students do not have high-end devices that will allow them to load their videos and load separate screens on their screens on their devices. So having a browser-based video conferencing platform will really help in terms of making online learning and even online teaching easier for both teachers and students. So if you don't want to use naman our video conferencing integration because your school might have its own subscription with Google for Education or maybe Zoom for Education, we can actually remove this integration from your subscription so you will have a reduced price also for the e-learning package of Cerebro. So if you want, you can also integrate your own Google Meet or Zoom access so that this will be easier for your students to access using our course pages. So this way, uh, the teachers don't have to distribute links to video conferencing sessions again and again. And what's good here is that all students have access to the course pages, so they will just go to the course page and click the virtual classroom button there, whether it is our built-in video conferencing integration or your link to Zoom or Google Meet, then they will be able to join the session immediately. And another thing that is good here is that since those who have administrative access to the system, such as principals and other school administrators, since they are able to access all the classes in the platform, they can just visit any course page and click the virtual classroom button there and join any session that they would like to join for virtual classroom observation. So they don't have to worry that there might be some teachers who might not be sharing the video conferencing links to them because they don't want to be observed. No, yeah, but it's already there on the course page. It's already available for them to access. Now, we also have here our PDF copy of DepEd's curriculum guide so that the students will know the skills that they will be able to master in the different topics that will be covered in this particular course. So, for every topic, we have a course presentation, and under every course presentation, we have a formative assessment already. So, teachers don't need to spend so much time in preparing short quizzes for their students because for every topic, we already have a formative assessment with 5 to 10 items per topic. And we already have our built-in test bank for this. So teachers can choose to modify our questions, add more questions, or even mix and match questions coming from different topics so that they will be able to expand the number of items of a particular quiz. They can also create their own quizzes or examinations from scratch, and they can insert questions from our test bank so that they can create a more detailed or a more uh, longer summative examinations like periodical exams or maybe major examinations such as prelim, midterm, or final examinations. So let's take a look at an example of our course presentation where we have the ready-made content already. So this is topic number 1 for philosophy entitled Doing Philosophy. So you will see that the presentation loaded directly on the screen without the need for the students to download a PowerPoint presentation or a PDF file. This is because we are already following the global standard for e-learning, which is the SCORM format, which stands for the Shareable Content Object Reference Model. Most of the time, students will be accessing their learning materials using their mobile devices. And uh, chances are their mobile devices don't have a built-in reader for PowerPoint or even for PDF. They would still have to download additional applications, and some of these applications are paid applications. So, in order to eliminate the need for an external reader for the learning materials, we have already converted our course presentations to SCORM format, so it will load directly on their browser screens with the help of HTML5 technology. And of course, if you can load a regular web page on your mobile phone, then that means that you will also be able to load the course materials that we have here on the Cerebro platform. So this doesn't require much specifications for the devices because as long as they will be able to load a regular web page, they will be able to load our materials. And we also have here the list of competencies that are covered in this particular presentation or lesson. For example, for topic number 1, competency number 1, we can see the competency says distinguish a holistic perspective from a partial point of view. If we are going to compare this with DepEd's actual curriculum guide, which we also have a copy here on our learning management system, we can see that for philosophy, topic 1 on doing philosophy, competency number 1, it says exactly the same thing. Distinguish a holistic perspective from a partial point of view. And if we're going to browse over the slides, we can see that the lessons being discussed are about holistic thinking, and partial thinking, which are exactly the same topics that DepEd would like us to teach our students. So that is how aligned our materials are with DepEd's competency. So let me show you another example. This is for English grade 7 for junior high school. So basically, our materials follow the same format regardless of the level. And let's take a look at an example of a course presentation here. For example, topic number 1 on word analogy. So, yeah, it has the same layout for uniformity. And here you can see that there is only one competency because we are already following DepEd's recently launched MELCs, or the most essential learning competencies, which drastically reduce the number of competencies to only those that are essential and are applicable to online learning. Diba? Let's be honest, not everything that are taught in the traditional classroom setup are applicable for online learning. So DepEd released its new set of learning competencies, or the set of skills that students need to master uh, while they are learning online. And they have reduced it to only those that are essential and are applicable for synchronous and asynchronous online learning. So there is only one competency here. And actually, most of our course presentations have a maximum of around 15 slides only because we are already following DepEd's guidelines on reduced screen time, wherein DepEd would like the students to spend less time on their devices for their online classes. So we make it a point that we will be able to discuss the required skills as indicated in DepEd's list of most essential learning competencies with the least number of slides possible and with the assessments that we are providing so that the teachers will be able to measure effectively the students' level of understanding and knowledge on the different topics that are presented to the students. So you can see that we are using photos and other forms of graphic organizers in our layout so that the students will be able to focus their attention on the most essential element on the screen so that they won't get distracted by any other elements that they may find. So we are using arrows, boxes, so the students will be able to focus their eyes on the particular area where we want them to focus on. Another example, this is for elementary naman, for science grade 3. So let's take a look at topic number 6, living things, animals, and their habitat. So this is an example of the course presentation for that. So as you can see, we have a different font style and a font color. They are more fancy in design compared with junior high school and senior high school as previously shown. Primarily because students in the elementary levels have a different, or a shorter, should I say, attention span. And we need to keep them engaged with the material that is presented to them for as long as possible. So we are also listing the list of competencies there. We are using photos so that they will be able to easily understand the concepts that we are discussing to them. And as you can see, below that topic, we also have the assessment. So for topic number 6, below it, we have the assessment entitled Science Grade 3, topic number 6. So when we click on it, we will see this page wherein we have the quiz items. So most of the items that we have here are already in multiple choice or true or false format, primarily because these are the types of examinations that are automatically checked by the system, and the grades are automatically posted on our virtual gradebook, which the teachers can later on download in Excel format and maybe extract the grades from there. And if they have their school's own grading or class record format, they will just have to copy and paste their grades from our downloadable Excel sheet to their school's class record format. So imagine, no, teachers don't have to prepare the course presentations and even the quizzes anymore because we have this for them. Now, there are schools who are using our materials as their primary references for as long as the teacher is unable to prepare their own materials yet. But at some point, teachers will be able to prepare their materials already, or there are times that they may have their own materials already, especially if they have been teaching the same subject for quite some time already. And there are also schools who are using our materials as their secondary or supplementary references to help enhance the quality of student learning. Another thing is that our materials are more standardized because we are already following DepEd's competencies, unlike the usual teacher-made materials wherein teachers have the leeway to localize the materials and make it more applicable to their own setting. But usually, for DepEd, there is only one set of national achievement tests that are being given throughout the Philippines every time it's the season for standardized examinations. So that is where we can truly help schools to accelerate their online learning and allow them to shift to digital with the least preparation possible, with the same goal of improving the quality of education of our students. Now, you might be thinking that there are students who are unable to follow online classes uh, because they might have unstable internet connection. They are only using mobile data, which requires them to load their mobile devices from time to time, and that costs them money. So if you scroll down to the bottom of our course pages, you will see that there is this PDF file there that is labeled as Learning Companion. Now, when you click on this is actually similar to a textbook that the students can download and print on their own. So this means that teachers don't need to do modules or worksheets for their students who are unable to follow the online discussions, because the students can download and print this on their own. It follows the same format that we have for our online contents. It is directly aligned with the MELCs. So we also have the competencies. We also have a pre-test. We have the lesson proper or the discussion proper, and we have the post-test. And if, for example, uh, students or parents don't have the necessary resources or the time to print this on their own, our team can also print this for them, and they will just have to shoulder the printing cost and the shipping fee. So we will be delivering this to their location if that is what they need. And we have this for the different levels that we have in our platform. Even for MAPE, but for MAPE, we only have this for music, arts, and health, as mentioned earlier, because PE is different from school to school. Okay, so we also have interactive simulation. So when you go to our dashboard, you'll see this button that says simulations. We have 83 interactive simulations in our platform that we have licensed from a foreign university that they allowed us to use for our learning management system. For example, let's try this one, the game version of fractions. This will give students a gamified learning experience, and this will keep them engaged with learning the fun way. Let's go to level one. So the system is asking us for the illustration of a two-thirds fraction. So let's see what will happen muna if the student is unable to answer it correctly. So for example, the student answers the wrong answer, selects the wrong answer, the system will not accept the answer, and there will be a corresponding negative sound indicator for that. Now, if the student is able to answer it correctly, let's see what will happen. So the system will accept the answer, and let's see what will happen if they're able to finish everything correctly. So the student will be able to proceed to the next level with, of course, has a higher level of difficulty. Another example of our interactive simulation that we have here, we have this balancing act. This is a good way for introducing the concept of physics among our students, even for the earlier grade level. So let's see if two cans of fire extinguisher would weigh the same as a 10 kilogram trash can. So both of them are totaling to 10 kilogram in weight if they are placed on different sides of a seesaw. So when we enable the CISO, you can see that it is still uh, not balanced. even though both sides are totaling to 10 kilograms. So what we can do is we can enable the different labels or identifiers that we have here to see what was the main factor for the imbalance of the platform. So you can see that maybe the main factor for the imbalance is the placement or the distance between the left and right weights of the seesaw. So if we move this a bit, so it's already balanced. So another example, or the last example that I have here for the virtual simulation is this. This is actually one of the most dangerous activities or hazardous activities that we have been asking our students to do in the regular classroom setup. We ask them to connect wires, batteries, switches, and light bulbs to see if they're able to connect it correctly, if the light bulb will light. So let's see. So here, so we have the switch, we have the battery. Let's see if the student is able to connect everything correctly, what will happen? So the light bulb will light. Now, if of course if the student is unable to connect things correctly, for example they mix things up, they connected positive to positive or negative to negative, then of course there will be hazard, maybe fire. So the fire here is just virtual. Our schools, our students, our teachers, and our homes are all safe from this type of hazard. So if we want to teach them how to use voltage testers, we can just place these pins on the proper places, and we can turn on the switch, and we can see that the voltage tester shows 9 volts because it is the voltage of the circuit based on the battery that we are using. So all in all, aside from the simulations that I have shown you, we have 83 interactive simulations in our platform. And aside from it, we have over 1,500 ready-made learning materials from kindergarten up to the grade 12 levels. And we also have the contents for the 9 general education courses for the tertiary level. And if your teachers would like to use the materials that DepEd is providing for students for online learning, you can see on our dashboard that we have this button here that says DepEd TV. This will lead the teachers to DepEd's official YouTube channel where they can access the materials that DepEd prepared for the different topics or lessons that are being discussed for the entire academic year. So if you are on our paid subscription plan, it is part of the training that we teach our client teachers on how to integrate these materials on the learning management system. And on the learning management system, uh, we have the option to use HTML5 technology to pop up questions on the screen. So if you have seen an episode of DepEd TV, from time to time there are questions that pop up on the screen that they're asking the students to answer. But of course, it's a video. How can the students answer? So we have found a way in order to integrate that in our platform so that the students will be able to post their answers for those questions and automatically record these answers on our online grading system. Okay. And we have this auditorium here, which can be clicked by the students or the teachers, and they will be led to our virtual auditorium where we are organizing live events from time to time, especially the monthly commemorations of DepEd. For example, for July, it's Nutrition Month. August, it's Buwanang Wika. So for August, we invited uh, a Filipino writer to share about his passion on Filipino literature in line with Buwanang Wika. For September, it's Science Month. So we invited a scientist also from the DOST Tomasino Center, Dr. Anthony James Bautista, who shared about his innovations in the field of science, particularly in the creation of the Lisa robot as a form of helping our frontliners during the COVID-19 pandemic. So he was our featured speaker for the Science Month last September. And for the month of October, we invited a UN peacekeeper, which you can see on your screen right now, Major Edward Palisong, since it's the United Nations month every October, and we wanted to hear how peacekeepers are doing their roles in conflict areas that are being administered or governed by the United Nations. So we do this not only to feature experts on their fields, but also to serve as some sort of a career talk for our students in order to help them set their minds or have or to give them a track that they might want to consider for their future careers. So this is also a big help for schools who are finding it hard to organize events during the pandemic because they have lesser resources. So our team is the ones taking care of this for them, and they can just join our online sessions entitled Cerebro Talks for free by just clicking our virtual auditorium button on our dashboards. So yeah, so if you know of anyone, or maybe if you're a school administrator, or you are looking for a solution that will help address problems on faculty workload or in improving the quality of education for online learning, please don't hesitate to connect with us so we can be partners in helping our educators to teach smart and live smart. Thank you very much and have a good day.
This is Brittany. She's been tasked with producing the company's next big event, happening in just a few weeks. The event technology options are seemingly endless. Until she found the perfect platform to engage and delight attendees. This is Excel Events, a virtual and hybrid events platform that has all of your must-have features in one place. From connecting attendees to brand exhibitors, seamless networking functionality, and custom ticketing options, you can manage the event ecosystem all from one place. Stream your live videos right on the platform, or integrate your favorite streaming provider so speakers can focus on delivering their message, while event managers are confident about delivering their run of show. Attendees can have direct access to speakers using built-in chat features. They can have one-on-one sessions with speakers or other attendees to create an intimate networking setting. Attendees are able to connect to multiple live sessions without ever leaving the platform. Create better events with flexible agendas. Native live streaming. In-depth analytics. Lead gen management. Multiple concurrent session functionality. Integration with popular software solutions. Learn more about Excel Events by visiting excelevents.com. Try it for free today and change the way you see events.
Your customers have bills to pay, essentials to buy, and services to hire. Make it secure, reliable, and hassle-free for them with PayMaya. PayMaya's payment solutions have you covered because now you can accept all kinds of cashless payments any way you do business, whether it's in-store, delivery, via mobile app, on your website, or even without a website. Plus, you can monitor your business growth on a single dashboard.
Nandoon ka at my lowest. Nung isa-isa na wala mga customers ko. Nung akala ko, pasara na shop ko. You gave me hope when all seemed dark and when I was lost. You encouraged me to look beyond, to go beyond, to focus on my family, friends, and blessings despite it all. Lahat yun, naitawid ko kasi nandyan ka sa tabi ko, nagpapaalala na kaya ko. So ngayon dahil sa'yo, mas matapang na ako to face any challenge. And now I realize what matters most. So thank you. Thank you for being there for me through everything. Nagbago man ang mundo, alam ko, kaya ko na harapin ang araw-araw na walang takot. Kasi you are just right by my side. And I can always count on you. Kaya salamat, ikaw talaga ang BFF ko.
Filipinos have struggled with the most essential facets of life, like health, education, livelihood, managing finances, and many more. Our country needs all the help it can get to manage its burden.
We want to maximize digital technology to provide solutions for real customer pain points. This is how 917 Ventures came to life.
The Philippines' largest corporate venture builder. We ideate, launch, accelerate, and scale new business ideas that have the potential to grow fast. Through our portfolio companies, we empower consumers and businesses to power through and emerge stronger every day, pandemic or not.
Our vision at GCash is finance for all.
Beyond financial services, GCash has become a super live app with over 51 million registered users.
Consulta MD is the largest telehealth company in the Philippines with over 1 million users.
Health Now is an integrator platform that brings health and care to every Filipino in one tap at the comfort of your homes.
With these healthcare solutions, Filipinos now have access to doctors 24/7 and get their medicines delivered on the same day.
And as we all strive to search for safer ways to go about our days, we understand how customers are starting to rely on online grocery shopping for their daily essentials. This is where PureGo comes in.
PureGo has become one of Metro Manila's top-of-mind grocery delivery services, with its best-priced grocery items from trusted brands.
Sparking a difference on ad tech, digital media, and creatives that helps brands create more meaningful connections with their customers by leveraging data and prioritizing the power of insights.
We at Rush offer an out-of-the-box solution that helps businesses start their digital transformation in the most cost-effective manner.
Rush and AdSpark's marketing, loyalty programs, and e-commerce solutions help future-proof businesses, prepare them for the surge of online shopping and transactions, and find their footing in the digital world. 917 Ventures continues to offer innovative solutions with the addition of 2 more portfolio companies. Enkiro, with its suite of artificial intelligence-powered products, and M360 with its multi-channel communication services. Our secret? We innovate for the people, not the prestige. We ideate opportunities, launch solutions, accelerate lives.
We are committed to build more ventures to further accelerate the country's digital transformation.
The future is now. The future is us. We are 917 Ventures.